kind and being nice are not the same thing. So, a lot of people have been guilty of being Mr. Nice Guy or Mrs. or Ms. Good Girl. But ultimately, people want you to be honest with them. Most people want you to be truthful and authentic with them. So, many of us, including myself, have been guilty of being the nice person. The difference between kindness and niceness is kindness is a strength, whereas niceness is a weakness. So when you're kind, you're choosing to be kind. You're choosing to be friendly in authenticity. True kindness is authentic. Niceness is when you really want to be agitated and set firm boundaries, but you go, oh yeah, well, it's okay if you do that, or blah, 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 which leads to people walking all over you. Because you can have kind boundaries. You could say, hey, look, I really don't like you doing that. I would appreciate it if you would please stop doing that and respect me more. That's totally kind, what I just said, but it's not nice. It's not like a nice example would be like, well, I really would blah 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 blah, and it's got that kind of like wimpy waily voice that doesn't really get anyone anywhere. So be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, because being too nice can be just as harmful to yourself and others as being mean. They're both two sides of left and right, like extremism. You don't want to be extreme in anything. You don't want to be extremely mean, and you don't want to be extremely nice. You want to learn kindness. In Chinese medicine, traditional Taoist medicine, kindness is the wood element. So kindness has to do with all plant life, growth, expansion, and family. So when you're kind to yourself and to others, that promotes growth, it promotes expansion, it promotes fruitfulness and branching out into the world, both physically and metaphysically. Niceness is not that. Niceness is not branching out in authenticity. It's not family. It's not connection at a deep level of kindness and love. True loving kindness has to do with your internal peace and your internal strength. If you have an internally powerful peace, then you can be like the Dalai Lama and be kind. The Dalai Lama is the perfect example of somebody who's kind but not nice. He will do all sorts of really funny things that aren't nice. He'll like poke at people and make silly jokes, but it's all kind. It's not like nice, like it's not fake. He's not out there faking it and just pretending to love and have compassion for the world. He does. He genuinely has deep loving kindness and practices it every day diligently with both lightheartedness and serious-heartedness. So, learn from people who have embodied kindness. Learn from people who are truly kind and not somebody who's being nice and you can trigger them and all of a sudden they're trying to hold in all these emotions that are ultimately going to heal them. There's been a lot of conversations that I have had that have maintained kindness but have been intense, have been holding yourself and others accountable to a level of integrity, a level of honesty, a level of respect and boundaries. Whereas somebody could be totally mean-spirited towards myself, and I could have compassion and say, look, I understand where you're coming from. Please don't do that. I have this boundary here. I will feel more respected if you do this. And then you could see where you're both at. You could see if that person's truly willing to respect you or if they're playing you. And then if they step over that boundary continually, then you could start to say, hey, well, I'm not going to be nice about this, Everything has its reasons. Sometimes people need a emotional bop in the head to wake them up, to go, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were that serious. There's been a lot of times in my life where the niceness, early on in my life, the niceness prevented a very simple healing that needed to happen. Stepping into kindness, which requires strength, you can hold people accountable in kindness. One of my greatest teachers and mentors, TJ Frank on Instagram, he's at TJ Frank Bhaktiatsu, like Bhakti Yoga, BHAKTI. There was one time where I missed a scheduled time to record a video together, and with kindness, but not niceness. It wasn't nice, it was kind. With kindness, he totally held me accountable with kindness, but it was strong. You know, it was, hey, this is what you said that we were going to do. You didn't hold up to that, so on and so forth. And ultimately, it resulted in a healing experience for myself. It was a masterful way of handling the situation from a medicine master, from an Eastern and Western medicine master, to be able to say, with words, without being in any sort of agitated state, to be able to hold somebody accountable and to be able to bring that emotional trauma out of me that wanted to be egotistical or prideful or ashamed, and be like, look, I'm so sorry, I fucked up, and to own up to that. And that's kind to yourself and others, to meet people in a place of humility, which is a part of kindness. Being able to be humble, like the trees aren't shouting and screaming their way into fruition. They're just deepening their roots and branching out and reaching out towards the light. And the light is truth. The light is what reveals all, good and bad. The light reveals all. So branch out towards the light. Be kind, but don't be nice. Be kind. Big gratitude, love, and kindness to you all. Thank you for listening.